We good? We good? We here? Levi, I'm not giving you kibble, hon. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It is not dinner time. It is so far away from dinner time. Anyway, hi! How you doing? How is everybody? Oh, wait. Hold on. I don't even have chat up. Just saying hi into the void. There we go. There you guys are. Oh, it's a morning stream for once. I thought about it. I could have done it yesterday, but I decided not to. I thought it'd be better to do this today. Instead, give everyone a chance to actually watch the live stream. I'm assuming most people have at this point, right? Yes, yes, indeed. An EU-friendly stream, yes, indeed. There's that too. I'm always streaming on my schedule, so evenings tend to work better for me. But you know, this is a lot better for probably a lot of people, because you know, weekend, morning weekends, kind of chilling, not doing much. And then in the EU, it's not like 3 o'clock in the morning. You'll be glad when the VA strike ends. It seems like it might. Well, not the strike ending, but it seems like the end might be in sight for Genshin, at least. Which will be nice. It'll be nice. I do like to see some ethics in my businesses. That's always nice. You know, certainly not a friendly time for Asia. Yeah, I don't know what friendly times for Asia are, to be fair. I have no idea. 2 a.m. in Australia? Yeah. Yeah. 11 p.m. in the Philippines, yeah. Yeah, there's no there's no way to kind of like do everything. I just gotta stream it a variety of times. I think that's the solution. I think it just needs to be a variety of stream times. Yeah, so we're moving into an interlude, I guess. And as far as an interlude goes that features Janssen, she's also being featured so very little. Either they don't want us to know anything about her, or there's not a lot she's doing in this interlude. Oh, but I actually don't even really know where to start. Do I like Chasca's kit? I don't really like Chasca. Does Chasca appeal to you now that you see her gameplay, or not really? No, not really. Okay, there's a couple of things that are funny, okay? There's a couple of things that are funny. I don't like her design, and I'm not enamored with her personality. So she's not my favorite, but I don't hate her. I think the gun is funny. The gun's probably my favorite part because, like, she rides it like a stunt rider rides a horse, and it's got reins and everything. And when I first saw this, I was just like, oh, I get it. It's a Colt action pistol. It's a Colt pistol. I was trying to combine Colt pistol with a bolt action. It did not work. It's still kind of technically early for me. I'm gonna be stumbling over words a little bit. I just thought that was funny. There was another one, but I forgot what it was. But I mean, like, I'm not a huge fan of her kit. 'Cause, like, it's Wanderer, but slow. I think the self-infusion is a neat idea, but I don't like the execution much either. 'Cause, like, for one, I don't think that the infused bullets are gonna scale off of her animo damage bonus, which means that like she's probably gonna have to run like attack or something instead, right? And so like it just feels like she's either gonna have to be built for Swirl, which makes her a really weird mix between Wanderer and Hazo, or she's gonna be built for like a plethora of different damages, and then she's mostly gonna be able to run in soup teams. Like she feels weirdly restrictive, and I don't like it. And maybe she doesn't actually function that way. I'm not a theory crafter. I'm a theorist. They're different. No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Anyway. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I'll say this though, for the people who don't like Wanderer, it'll be a nice it'll be nice to have another a bit like gliding character to choose from. But if you don't like both of them, then well, I guess that's that then. But yeah, I think like one of the things that bugs me about her that I can never unsee is like on her hat. This just looks like the Plague Doctor mask that Dotori uses on his pauldron, or whatever the shoulder armor bit is called. And I can't unsee it. It's driving me nuts. Chasca's a Dotori segment? We'll see. Her hat's supposed to represent a bird. Yeah, I know it's supposed to represent a bird, but the Plague Doctor mask is also supposed to be a bird. It's just like the way that they did it makes it look like a Plague Doctor's mask, and it's funny. But yeah, so like I think she'll be good. I think she'll be useful. I'm not gonna pick her up. Honestly though, I also have way too many animal characters, so like I'm not looking to pick up another one at all. So there's that. I'm not sure. All right, let's talk plot a little bit. So I guess one frustrating thing for me that I don't quite understand why they're doing. I mean, like, I guess I kind of get it. But it seems like getting to Ochkanatlan might be through the Flower Feather clan in Chasca. It seems like that might be the case. You're confused about how the Flower Feather clan got taken over by the Abyss in the first place, considering they're in the air? I forget where it mentioned this in game, but apparently, when the Abyss invaded 500 years ago, in each area of Natlan, the Abyss manifested in different ways. So my understanding is that in the Flower Feather clan, it turned into like toxic winds, which would be like toxic and violent winds, like tornadoes and stuff like that. So like it'd be easy to see how they would, you know, get infected with abyssal corruption. But also, if they're bordering Ochkanatlan, depending on what happened over there, you know, it's possible that they're just like on the border and they're actually guarding like another sort of breach between that and the Night Kingdom, or something similar. That was mentioned in Natlan Archon Quest Act 2 beginning, I think. That sounds right. It's like an abyssal fart. Sorry, I'm reading chat and I'm not good at reading and talking at the same time. And I'm getting very distracted. Are the Masters of the Nightwind dino bats or owls? They look more like bats to me. I don't think they're owls. But I mean, I don't know that you can't combine animals. You could have an owl bat. That seems like a thing. So I find the Nightwind a bit more interesting than Flower Feather. So you're gonna have to forgive me if I talk a bit more about Nightwind than Flower Feather. And like, we got so little on Eonson, I can't even say much about her either. Other than it looks like, you know, she'll be helping out a bit here. And I'm glad she's finally getting featured, but also it'd be nice to have a little bit more to work with. They're like moth bats. Yeah, moth bats, owls. I could see like a whole bunch of different things. I think they're primarily bats. Whatever else they take inspiration from, they are primarily bats. I think that's kind of the important bit. A lot of the spirit designs look like the strange things in Inazuma's dungeons. Which strange things are you talking about? The thing that I think is really interesting about these Iktomisaurs, though, is that even though they're bats, okay, they're primarily bats, and they may look like owls, they may also look like moths, they're named after spiders. like a spider deity. Which, like, okay, it does make sense to a degree, because like the Nightwind is known for doing a lot of divination with like weaving and things like that. And I do like that they gave them something a little bit more interesting than just a terrain ability. I'm very curious about how this works here. Like on a mechanical level. Because this dragon is like zip-zapping a picture on a rock and then materializing a physical object out of it. Which is wild. Absolutely wild. They do have 6 limbs like a spider. Are you making fun of me? Are you trying to get me to admit that in this game spiders have 6 legs? Because I'll never do it. I'm not gonna do it. 8 legs are bust. If you have 6 legs, you're just a bug. Looks like Building in Tears of the Kingdom. A very rudimentary version of Building in Tears of the Kingdom. Thinks of every spider Pokemon that doesn't have 8 legs. Listen, I didn't say Pokemon was in the right either. They're all bugs. Octopuses and Teyvat have 4 tentacles, so who knows? That's my point! They're not real. They should be quadrupuses. I don't like how that sounds. I don't like how that sounds at all. Oh no. I have been playing Zelda since before you were born. I know what a Tektite is. Leave me alone. Zelda's literally like a year older than me. The game, not the character. Good lord. That'd be very, very strange. Ellie Me, thank you for the super. Happy Halloween to you as well. We're a few days late, but I'll take it. As far as I'm concerned, it's Halloween all the time wherever I am. Because Halloween is the best holiday. Don't at me, it's true. Okay, so there's a couple of things, and I'm not quite sure where to start here. We're gonna get to the abyss monsters in a second. But this symbol here should be familiar to you guys, right? Like, I shouldn't need to tell you what this reference is, right? The Inazuma statue, the Battle Pass icon, the Staff of Homa. Yeah. Oh, that's not what we wanted. And just ignore these AI summaries. They're so useless. All right. So I thought this was interesting in light of this. Like, the Homa thing didn't make a ton of sense being in Inazuma when you think about it. But now it kind of does. Because if we realize that it's a fire ritual, right? It makes sense for it to be in Natlan. But when I made the phlogiston and dragon alchemy video, and I was thinking about the relationship between Pyro and Electro, this also started to make more sense to me. Because both of them emit light, and lightning can cause fire. And so suddenly having it be in Inazuma and then also nowhere else started to make more sense. Well, okay, it's technically in Liyue because of the Homa staff, but that in that case it's related to fire, not Geo. So you know that was more what I meant. But so I thought that was pretty cool. Am I googling quadrup? What? Oh, wow. Reading quadrupus when it's written down is a weird thing. I was like, quad pulses? That did not read well. They all have death in common? I mean, kind of. So, the thing about the Homa ritual, I'm not too sure at this point, what the connection like directly is, like why they would use it in two different places and then in all these other places. So I'm gonna think about it more. But right, you see these, you're just like, huh. I guess this makes more sense now. But I have seen some people suggest that the statue in Inazuma is of Renova, which would be very interesting. I'm not sure I agree with it, but it does open up the possibility of it being someone other than Istaroth or A, and I think that in itself is interesting. So that's cool. Why Renova? Because she's the shade of death. Why would A make people shove visions into someone else's statue though? I'm not going to get into the argument of whether or not the statue is of A or not. I'm of the opinion that it's not. But that's like a whole different discussion. And I think people will argue in a multitude of different ways for different reasons, right? And I'm not about to argue that anyone's take on it is invalid. I just think personally, for the way I view things right now, it doesn't make sense for it to be A. But I think the possibility is interesting either way. Will Xbalanque return? I don't think so. Not as a playable character, if that's what you're asking. I don't think that's going to happen. Did they retcon Vanessa's tribe? I don't know. The thing about Vanessa's tribe that's interesting to me is that there are 7 nations in Teyvat, and there are only 6 tribes of Natlan, and yet right now we seem to have a situation where like each tribe in a way is representative of different parts of Teyvat, sort of. So Vanessa's tribe is either made out of exiles from Natlan, or they're from a 7th tribe that no longer exists and hasn't existed for 1,000 years. But I don't think they retconned it, because that would make some of the trading cards that they put in the game a bit odd, among other things. Like, Vanessa's still a thing. She was still from Natlan. She still showed up 1,000 years ago. I'm sure the gladiator story is still true. I think, if anything, they probably just changed which clans she's from, or whether or not, you know, that clan still exists. So, you know, I think it's fine. Zareth, thank you for this super. Just had to hop in to say hi, working right now, so I can't stay. Well, that's a shame, but this VOD will stay up for ages. So we'll see you when you get back. But thank you. Hope you have a good day at work. And Exhaustion, thank you as well for your super. Do you think that Shillanen will actually die to give the Trailblazer an ancient name? We're playing the wrong game here. Or will they find a loophole? So I think that line has been taken out of context, or like taken too far. I don't think Shillanen has to die in order to make the Traveler an ancient name. That would be a crazy high cost to pay. And I don't think Mavuika would ever ask that of Shillanen. Like, that's a bit much, in my opinion. I think what they were actually saying is that it costs a part of her life force to create ancient names. And that if she expends too much of that life force, then she can die eventually. I think that's more what it is. But I don't think she's going to die to make us an ancient name. That'd be kind of weird. Doesn't the ear of the bat saurian look the same as the symbol, though? Yeah, that's kind of the point. Like, the Iktomisaurs are very interesting, okay? Because not only are they symbolically referencing the Homa symbol, but they are also referencing a spider trickster spirit, which is a shapeshifter. Spiders in general are also associated with weaving and fate and that sort of thing. And you can also see that their ability is to, like, see the unseen, and then also to materialize things into the real world. So, like, there's a lot going on with the Iktomisaurs. And I can't tell if they're electro or cryo aligned. It might. I'm not entirely sure. I can't really tell for the Kukasaurs either. It seems like they might be a little bit more pyro aligned, but instead they rule the skies, which makes me think they're more Anemo aligned, and I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. What was I gonna do? I was looking for something. But you know, now that I think about it, in light of... Okay, actually, hold on. Now that I think about it, this just occurred to me and I feel kind of dumb. So Ororon has the same power as an Iktomisaur. Yeah? And Iktomisaurs are bats, at least predominantly. And Ororon is part bat with his little ear. I wonder if he's half Saurian. Because, like, his skill is, like, bat sonar, and he can do the flying leap thing and the eye reveal thing. I'm sure Seat Lolly will be able to do at least the eye reveal thing, although I don't foresee her being able to do, like, the super jump and all that. But that'd be interesting. How does that work? I mean, the same way that, you know, Sijuan can be human without actually being human. Face-changing primordial seawater potion, obviously. His soul is not complete, so we don't know. Okay. You know what? That's a good... I see you, super chats. Hold on a second. I need to grab something. I hate ads, so we're gonna go on the anti-fandom. I think the word is... Yes, it's atavistic. Okay. If you guys have not read Kachina or Lynette's character stories, you might not have seen this. But there's been a lot of debate about, like, why certain characters in the world have animalistic characteristics, right? And I've always thought it's like, oh, they must be from different races, kind of like the Cat's line in Mondstadt, right? But I'm starting to think that, like, the Cat's line specifically is, like, its own race. But that may not be the case for people like Lynette and Kachina, even. Because it says that her rather distinctive ears are an atavistic trait. And this is something, this is like a terminology that's used the same way with Lynette. And I'm still not entirely sure. I'm still not entirely sure how to interpret this in game yet. Okay, so like stick with me. But the basic definition of this is a recurrence in an organism of a trait or character typical of an ancestral form or usually due to genetic recombination. So there's two possibilities here. Either they are expressing genetics that are in their history. So that would mean at some point in time, Kachina was related to a pika, because that seems to be the type of animal that she is. Or that this is almost like a genetic mutation that is being expressed due to genetic recombination, right? Not really a genetic mutation, but like it's a phenotypical mutation, I guess. So like in context of that, okay, like in context of that, looking at Ororon again and his similarities to the Iktomisaurs, it does beg the question, doesn't it? Does he have a common ancestor with the Iktomisaurs? Or is there some level of genetic splicing going on? What about Klee and Sucrose? I think Klee and well, I mean, it could be the same thing. Animalistic features are just like a recessive gene. They could be. Now, the reason I bring this up with Ororon is because he's considered, like, his soul is incomplete, right? And I don't know how many of you have seen Roosevelt's video on Ochkan and evolution and, like, what the purpose of the little guy quests are. Or the little buddy quests, sorry. But she was talking about how Ochkan seems to have been somewhat, how to put this, interested or related to, no, sorry, not Ochkan, Ubakan. Wahaklahun Ubakan, sorry. Because he had a vision for humanity's future, and he was kind of like trying to find a way for Saurians and humans to coexist and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of repeating